Hello, fight fans. Seattle Mike Fights a Friends here. Everybody, please hit that like and subscribe button, or I will tell Dana White to increase the pay-per-view price even more. Speaking of prices, let's look at what fighters got paid this Saturday for UFC 270. It's nice when we have these events in California because the California State Athletic Commission is completely transparent with what the UFC has to report to them. That being, these are guaranteed purses. No bonuses on here. There is a bonus column. That was a little bit confusing because I don't see like the actual win bonuses in the totals on the side for most of these. The net pay and things. So I'm not sure exactly what's going on with that. But this does not include win bonuses, the bonuses for performance and fighters of the night, those $50,000 bonuses, which there's generally 4. And then the big thing that this does not include is the pay-per-view points. Francis Ngannou, Brandon Moreno obviously would get pay-per-view points. You get a certain amount per pay-per-view buy at certain markers. The more pay-per-views you sell, the more money you get per pay-per-view sold. So like, I think it's when you get over 500,000, it goes up to like $2 a buy. And I'm not sure exactly how the split is on that. But I know Cyril Gane will also get pay-per-view points because of the interim championship. As far as Deiveson Figueiredo, I have no idea. I'm assuming he's not. But I have heard of some former champions getting some pay-per-view points. So that I don't have an answer for. But you can see this is straight from the California State Athletic Commission, 2005 Evergreen Street, Suite 2010. Signed Commissioner John Carvelli, Chair and Executive Officer Andy Foster. You can look up any of this information for yourself at the website here, dca.ca.gov/CSAC for the California State Athletic Commission. You can also reach them here by email, and actually even there is their phone number. And somebody will give you some sort of answer. They may not answer every question, but there is somebody there on the phones that will give you some information. Let's start out at the top of this card. We have Kay Hanson. I'm not sure why she got $17,000 to show. That was interesting. It does not make sense because most of the fighters are starting out at $10,000 unless they have a name where they're more well known, and then they're going to make more money. But Kay Hanson, that was a bit of a mystery. The other mystery to me is, if you can see in this column, total licensing. For Kay Hanson, the total licensing was $60. Everyone else is between $160 and $260. And I believe it looks like all of the fighters that are over 200 are fighters fighting on a visa that may train at one time or another in another country. So her opponent, Jasmine, I just call her Jasmine Vicious because I'm not going to attempt to butcher that last name. Obviously, she got the win too, so $20,000 to her. We got 12,000 shows here. You see a lot of 12s too, and 12,000 to win. Matt Fravola versus Gennaro Valdez. Soto were both 23 to show, 23 to win. Tony Gravely, 22 to show. Salomon Oliveira, 10 to show, 10 to win. So that'd be 44,000 for Gravely with his bonus. Jack Della Maddalena, I was pretty surprised by this one because he was such a huge favorite against Pete Rodriguez. So I was really surprised to see he was a 10 show and 10 win. Same thing with Hani Barcelos. I thought he was a bit of a veteran. He did get 29,000 though. He had 29,000 to show. Victor Henry in his UFC debut, he did pretty good for his first fight in the UFC. 20 to show, 20 to win. And that's another one. I know he was a former LFA champion. I believe he may have been a 2-division champion. So that's the reason he came in at 20,000 instead of 10. You had Michael Morales, who put up a great fight against Trevin Giles. Giles 45 to show, 45 to win. Syed Nurmagomedov, that was a bit surprising too, that he was just a 25 to show. Obviously, he got the win too very quickly. Super impressive performance. So he went home with 50 grand. Cody Staten still went home, even though he lost the bout, he still went home with more money. 65K, because he's been in the UFC for a minute. Michel Pereira went home with 100 grand. Good for him. I thought that was a much better performance. He showed some cardio, some patience, some things he hasn't shown in the past. Went home with 100 grand. Andre Fleo, I really hope we see him again. I think we will. I'm glad, he's going to get the 12K. I'd like to see him get, obviously, a little bit more than that. But that's what he went home with, and I think we'll see him making some more money in the future. Then we're going to get down to the co-main and the main event. Like I said, I have no idea about pay-per-view points. I just know everybody on here, base pay, no win bonuses for any of them. So Brandon Moreno was going to make 200K regardless. Deiveson Figueiredo, 150 regardless. Then you've seen Cyril Gane making 500K, and there's the 600K that Francis Ngannou has talked about in the past. Remember, he said he would not continue to fight for 500,000 and 600,000 per event. Took home $599,790 after licensing fees. Obviously, these guys are going to pay a lot more in taxes and things, but just by comparison, in the Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder, their last fight, their third fight, Tyson Fury took home $30 million and Deontay Wilder took home $25 million. So $55 million between those two fighters. This is why people are talking about UFC pay. You're going to look at the total purse, and it is going to be a little bit more, guys, because of pay-per-view points. Like I said, 1,844,000. But I can say pretty comfortably that even with pay-per-view points, all the bonuses and stuff, that these purses, I don't think are going to exceed 4 million. And that's, if we're looking at over 500,000 pay-per-view buys, which honestly, with the new $75, the increase in pay-per-view buys, I know it put it in line with ESPN's top-ranked boxing pay-per-views, which, yeah, you don't like to go down in price, and it's a problem for the UFC. Now that they've done this, it's going to be hard for them to go down. I don't think it would have been a problem to go the other way and bring top-ranked boxing down from 75 and to bring that down to what the UFC was at 65 or 70, because they would just say, hey, we're putting this in line with what the UFC pay-per-views have. And people are, okay, that's, that'd be fair. Nobody would be upset about, not having to pay an extra $5. But if ESPN backtracks on this pay-per-view price now, and the UFC, I think it looks a little wishy-washy and weak. I still kind of feel like they should do it. But I fully do not expect them to. I can't wait to see what pay-per-view numbers are when they come out. If we get any kind of disclosure from the UFC or ESPN at all, and I imagine that we're not going to, because they only tell you what the numbers are when they're good. And I think these numbers are going to be less definitely than what they were hoping for and what they were expecting. But let me know what you think. We're going to go through this for some boxing pay too. Not every boxer is a millionaire. Not every boxer gets paid like Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. So we're going to go through a little bit of that. And then I'm also going to make a separate video on exactly how they pay the UFC pay-per-view points, if you're interested in that at all. Guys, thanks for tuning into another video. As always, I love you, I respect you, and I'll see your fine asses next time.